Spacey Sims, and we're here with a new game. Yay! I love this. Lots of new games coming. This is Murder Most Misfortunate, and this is like a mystery visual novel. So I'm going to read you the little Steam information. So this is a visual novel adventure with an open-ended mystery that puts your deductive skills to the test. We're going to fail so bad. A murder occurs in a secluded manor, and if you can't find the killer in time, you just might take the blame for the crime yourself. Gather information and search the house for clues as you form your own conclusions about the evening's mysterious events. Multiple endings. Find the true killer is ideal, of course, but maybe building a plausible case against one of the other characters is good enough to get you off the hook. Unique and compelling characters. Play as Misfortunate. Misfortunate. A delightfully caustic anti-heroine who has already been widowed 9 times. But this time she didn't do it. Really. And she'll have to solve the mystery herself to prove it. Immersive story. Sharply written dialogue. Full choices ensure a thoroughly immersive narrative. Voice acting. Oh, each character is fully voiced. Oh, that's cool, so we don't have to read anything. Beautiful visuals, detailed searchable backgrounds, and slick visual effects like rain, fog, and varied lighting. Time runs short. The incompetent police are on their way. Better solve the mystery before they arrive, lest they come to their own wrong conclusions. It's time to turn down the lights, settle into your favorite armchair, put on your thinking cap for an evening of classic mystery and intrigue. So a lot of the reviews are saying it's like quick, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go into new story. So there's this. I know because I was trying to find the settings, but you can't get to the settings until you load a game, which is just weird. So I didn't read anything. I just had gone in to see. So when enabled, you will have to solve the mystery within a limited time period. A clock will appear in the top right corner during sections where this time is limited to counting down. This option is included for those who like tension. We're going to go with not doing that just because. But the thing is, too, why is the text so tiny? All right. Because I didn't save anything. I obviously, went back out to the main menu because I got to this point. I just thought this one looked interesting, and it was on sale when I got it. So, yeah. Left click on this text or press the space bar to proceed. Okay, so this is... And I'm assuming that's skip. That's like a menu thing. I'm not sure what these are. So this is where all the settings are. So I turned the music, but it was really just the music on the thing. I want something that's actually like... I'm going to do that because I can actually read that. The other one is like, it's too freaking fancy. Save game, menu, quit. Okay, so resume. What's this? Nothing. What's this? Nothing. Okay, I guess it's items that we get. Okay, so click on the right to have the game proceed automatically. Okay. Press escape to access volume and text speed settings. Okay, or click that. Use a scroll wheel when hovering over this text box to see what was previously said. Oh yeah, but who the fuck can read that? That is like... I have good tiny vision, but that is ridiculous. They did not.
My dear
Cool.
Misfortune, I hope this letter
I hope you can
finds
hear the
your way.
voices.
I did so enjoy our little discussion of the work of Guy de Mauvaisier the last time we met. I would like to cordially invite you to an intimate gathering of mine on the evening of the 27th.
So, here's my assumption. Obviously, if I click that, then it'll keep scrolling on its own. But I think because I like to, interject things, that it's easier if we just click through.
We will be celebrating my recent acquisition of a rather unique historical property. And I think you are just the one to properly appreciate
He did it. That's why he invited us. He was going to kill our husband or whoever and blame us. What a dick. Unless he's the one
I
that
look
died.
forward to your RSVP in the affirmative. Most sincerely yours, Prince Titan.
I hope you guys can hear this. I hope the volume's on. You know what? I'm actually going to... Let me check the volumes, and then we will come back in just a second. So I'm just going to check and make sure the voices sound loud enough.
To think the world of himself.
Obviously, we're back. I hope... I turned... The voice volume in the game doesn't go up any higher. It did seem a little quiet. So I turned my OBS up a little bit, so hopefully it's better. And I also turned the music down, because I feel like, to me, it seems fine, but when you play it back, it's like, okay, the music and the voices are almost at the same level. It's weird. I don't know, just weird. It sounded weird when I played it back. So hopefully everything is better. So we'll see.
I, quite frankly, thought him a bit of a bore. But if I only accepted social invitations from people I thoroughly approved, I wouldn't dine out very often.
So I'm assuming that's us. Nanograms.
I stepped onto the curb from my limo and laid eyes on the place for the first time.
We sound like a twat.
Gothic gargoyles loomed ominously over the old house, and creeping vines wound their way up its walls, as though trying to
Oh, we
strip
sound fun
it.
though. Like she sounds like such a. She's like, oh, like I stepped out of my limo. Like, I like it though.
The prince had been right. It really was to my taste.
Good evening, ma'am. May I have your name?
Clops. He's like a cyclops. I get it.
Ugh, this hulking thug, on the other hand, not so much. Fortune. Miss Fortune.
Is the miss a first name or a title, ma'am?
Oh, I like to leave that to the imagination.
We even have a cigarette holder over here.
Now you must be the butler, so why don't you buttle on and show me inside? The evening is a bit damp, I dare say.
No, ma'am. I'm not a butler. Just a valet. My name is Klops.
Oh my, what a terrible shame. Well, butler, or valet, you do open doors, don't you?
You're kind of a douche.
Yes, ma'am. Right this way.
I wonder if his first name is Cyclops. Wow, what the hell? This place looks like shit.
From the cobwebs in the corners and the dust on the railings, it was obvious that the house had been abandoned for some
Not to mention all the
time.
shit all over the floor.
Some high society guests might have been insulted to be invited to a venue in such ill repair, but it didn't bother me. I realized that the house had been preserved as it was for the effect.
Interesting.
Misfortune has arrived.
Ah, Misfortune, good evening. There are refreshments on the side table. Please do help yourself.
Oh my god. He's a wizard, Harry. It's not clicking.
Why, thank you. So, are you the butler? Or are you going to tell me you're just, I don't know, the concierge?
Concierge. Of course, says that.
Butler? No. I'm not a servant. I am a close friend and trusted advisor to our dear prince. The Grand Magus of his court, if you will. My name is
The
Horatio.
Grand Magus of his court. Ah, yes, mage.
Charmed, I'm
The
sure.
bird's very excited about the birds outside.
My dear Misfortune, how are you, darling? It's so good to see
Comtessa.
you again.
Comtessa de Clecitra.
Comtessa de
Yes, it's been just ages, hasn't it?
She's like, I wish it had been longer.
I should have known you to be here. You're never one to miss an event on the social circuit.
I dare say I needed something to cheer me up after my late husband's funeral. And an evening like this is just...
I like
lovely.
how it's like a stage show almost. Like there's a slight echo in the voices, but it's like how it lights up her, and then when each person talks, it lights them up.
Of course. I was so sorry to hear about your husband. This is your 4th time a widow, if I'm not
You got a lot to live up
mistaken.
to because we're apparently 9 times over.
Quite so. And for you, 9, I believe.
This is like the Black Widow challenge in The Sims.
Ah, yes. They just keep dropping dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with stamina these days.
Oh my, should I be worried? Perhaps
Only if I ask you to marry me.
Me? Cursed? Nonsense. I seem to be doing just fine. But maybe I am bad luck.
Oh, cool.
Let me see. When exactly was it that we last saw each other? It must have been at the Emperor's ball.
Heavens, yes! Wasn't that quite the affair? Were you there when one of the waiters spilled a tray of champagne all over Duchess Lisa's
What the hell is
dress?
wrong with her arm? Like,
Oh, yes. That was positively scrumptious, wasn't it? I mean, a shame about the dress, of course. I heard she had it made just for the ball. Such a
and why
pity.
do we only have 4 fingers? Oh, because our thumb's behind us. Okay, it's just the way her hand was. It looks awkward. I was like, wait, what? I was thinking that was for some reason her thumb, because it's just like the way it's got that weird arch that. Just looks-
Well, given how many people come out nowadays, it was bound to happen to someone. I even heard the poor servant say he was sure he felt someone in the crowd give him a little shove. Can you imagine?
probably us.
Surely not. These are high lords and ladies we're talking about. No doubt the man is just making excuses for his clumsiness.
You're probably right. Just an unlucky accident, I'm sure.
They did a lot with drawing her and like everything, but like I feel like they just like half-assed this poor girl. Like,
Ah, Misfortune, welcome. I am so delighted that you could come. I trust Horatio has been keeping you entertained.
sup, Satan? Thanks for inviting me. Like, fuck.
Oh, yes. La Comtesse and I were just scandalizing your court jester. Or was he a wizard? In any case, scandalizing him with our intimate marriage details.
Of course you were. So tell me, what do you think of the house? I must admit, when I first came into this little period piece, I immediately thought of you.
And they make a pair.
It seems melancholy, mysterious, and maybe just a little macabre. So yes, I quite like it so far.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I will take you on a more detailed tour shortly, but we are still waiting for more guests to arrive. And what timing! Here they are now.
fuck?
Miss Charisse and Miss Leah have arrived, sir.
Okay. I was like wondering, like, are we in a weird time period? And then she shows up in shorts and like a crop top. Yeah, no, okay, this is the weirdest group of people ever. She's like, I'm wearing this goth dress. She's like, I'm a Southern belle wearing this gown. And he's just dressed like a weird traveling professor wizard. Like, this girl is like,
Is that the Charisse? The industrial heiress? The one who's been throwing all those charity balls ever since she came into her fortune?
The very same.
My beautiful Charisse, please come in. Without you, this place is dark and drab, but your radiance rekindles it anew.
oh, he's hitting on everybody.
You're too kind. Oh my! I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never imagined it.
Yeah,
was
seriously,
you.
that's weird.
Indeed. This party just got a little more
Yeah,
interesting.
indeed.
And this must be Leah, the girlhood friend of whom you speak so very highly.
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you like entertaining dead people.
Dead people? Yeah, I assure you, fair lady, you are perfectly safe here.
I think it was a critique of the decor, not of our safety.
Leah doesn't mean it. It's a lovely house. Really.
You haven't
On
even
the
picked your eyes up off the floor.
Miss Leah may be more right than she knows. Until recently, this mansion was the property of the Lee family. Perhaps you know of them.
Oh yes, who doesn't? A distinguished family of the nobility with a respected pedigree and a long history of public service and political
And they're all dead.
influence.
So, short version, some stuffy old rich people.
Almost all of the estates out here, away from the city, were owned by old families. But many have had to sell over the years. It must be a bit sad for them, leaving all that history behind.
Indeed, and especially so for the Lees. Theirs is a tale of tragedy, and it ends, as they so often do, in sorrow and blood.
It's like, are you a weather wizard?
Come, the house itself will tell its share
So
of
who
the
do we
tale.
murder? Or who murders who? I mean, obviously we didn't do it, but maybe we did. Maybe that's a twist. The smoking room. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to be alone here.
This is the smoking room. Did the Lee family use this as a quiet place to relax after their evening meals, I wonder? Or was this the proverbial smoke-filled room where secret deals would be struck and the fates of nations decided?
This guy's fucking crazy.
My attention was drawn to a curio cabinet on one side of the room. Some of the items within rather struck my fancy. This cabinet, are these items originals?
I believe so. I have endeavored to change as little as possible about the house.
Including the cobwebs, the dirt, the shit all over.
The Lees were well known as eclectic collectors.
It looks like an abandoned house. Can I click on things?
They also say that sorcery ran strongly in the Lee family.
Well, I
you
mean,
know.
you would know.
Great. As if we didn't have enough reason to think this place was owned by a bunch of creepers.
Come now, surely a smart little girl like you doesn't put any stock in old superstitions.
Magic and superstitions, no. Weird and creepy people, on the other hand, are plenty.
And all in the room with you.
No need to worry, young lady. You're among good company here.
We will have time to look around in greater detail later, I assure you. For the moment, follow me, if you would.
I'm assuming we're just getting a lot of weird backstory before we get into, like, the actual, like, doing things? I don't know.
They called this the king bedroom, home to the master of the house.
Sorry, I'm adjusting my headset.
Now, it is as you see it, empty and forlorn, as it waits for a new master to take the place of the
Wouldn't
old.
that be you?
It feels so cold.
I'm just trying to imagine this going on, and I just feel like he'd break her.
Milady, I can call for Klops to bring you a sweater.
And while he's at it, perhaps also a textbook on metaphorical versus literal language.
You are so kind, but I'm fine. It's just the atmosphere of this place.
The Lees were among our most powerful families before the Imperial Revolution. But like most of the old guard at the time, they chose the losing side. In many ways, the family never
If I had
recovered.
a mustache, I would twirl it.
They
Ugh.
certainly never
Or in that
recovered
creepy-ass arm.
financially at the very least. Thus the sale of this very house.
Is like she the bitch that's gonna die? Because like I feel like this bitch gonna die because like everybody else has like a similarly drawn style face. He's slightly different, maybe it's just expression, but she looks like she's half-assed drawn. Like they look like they're drawn. She is just like there's something about her that's like half-assed.
It's almost as if old money runs out if you're not smart with it. Huh, who'd have thought?
Quite so. But at least the house is gone to those who can appreciate its history. This is the Queen bedroom, and it has a fascinating story. It is said that the famous Senator Lamika Lee herself met her end in this very room during the final days of the Revolution.
Yeah, I remember learning about that. She was one of the staunchest supporters of the Old Republic.
And she was killed here? In her own bedroom? That's so terrible.
How slow you speak is terrible. It's actually
By all
nice.
accounts, she did not go down without a fight. Revolutionary soldiers had stormed the grounds, but none who came in here survived.
It's actually nice to have them read the line so I don't have to do it, but
They even say that she sustained herself for days on the blood of the soldiers who kept coming
Wow.
for her.
Well, points for ingenuity. I'll grant her that.
But that was all a long time ago. There wouldn't still be any blood left here now, or anything.
Really? With all the red, it's rather difficult to say, isn't it? Who knows how much of it might have soaked into the floor, the walls, the bed.
I feel like I know her voice. Sounds familiar.
You are right, my darling Charisse. It is all long
He sounds upset about that,
past.
like, oh, you're right. It's all gone.
A good tale for a night of ghost stories, perhaps. But thankfully, these are happier times. And here we have the dining hall. I see that Klops has left some tea and coffee on the table for us.
And orange juice, too, I hope. I'm running rather low. All this dry air, you know?
I'll see to it, sir.
For me, just a spot of black coffee would be wonderful.
This concludes our formal tour of the estate, but our evening is far from over.
So we only have a dining hall, 2 bedrooms, a main hall, and an outside. Oh, and the smoking room. That's a really small fucking estate. I hope we didn't pay a lot of money for it.
Tonight, my friends, is more than just a housewarming party. Before the night is done, I have a very special announcement to make to you all.
Of course.
Don't worry, my dear. You are safe with me.
Thank you. I was just a bit
I have a
startled.
feeling a butterfly startles you.
Oh, heavens, yes. The light's going out. What horror! I dare say I may faint myself, delicate flower that I am.
Flower? A noxious weed, perhaps?
Please, Misfortune, allow me.
I think she's being sarcastic.
Oh, what would we do without you? On second thought, you can unhand me. I seem to be quite all right.
Good, good. Because there's nothing to be worried about. It's just a little blackout.
Would you be so good as to check the breaker then, my dear Horatio?
Yes, of course. My talents will shed some light on all of us in no time.
I absolutely adore these old homes, but they do so often have problems with the wiring, don't they?
Excuse me, boss. Sir, there's a telephone call
Okay,
for you.
so here you go. Someone's gonna die because Horatio's out of the room. Boss is out of the room.
A call for me? Here? How mysterious. You must excuse me, my
That sounds
dear
suspicious.
guests.
How mysterious.
Klops will fetch some candles for you so you can look around while Horatio works his magic on the lighting. I will return very shortly.
Who's gonna die now? Because now everyone's splitting up.
I wandered back to the king bedroom by myself to take a closer look at some of the decor.
Oh, okay.
The elaborate carvings on the wooden bedpost intrigued me. Spirits and demons of all sorts circled and surrounded any lord who might sleep in this bed. Was this preferable, I wondered, than sleeping in the arms of Lamika Lee, blood drinker as she was rumored to be? The air in the old house was still and thick with dust. But even had there been a draft, I doubt the black drapes by the room's window would have stirred. Even I was surprised by how thick and heavy the material was. No sunlight would have pierced its way into this room against its occupants' wishes. That much was
And yet, I
certain.
can see the window beams in there.
Looks like our court magician has managed to conjure back a little light for us after all.
Was that? Oh, okay. So I guess the only other thing is the bookshelf.
Had these books on the shelf belonged to the Lee family as well? Curious, I skimmed a few of the
Or maybe you couldn't
titles.
click. I didn't go over there. I only saw these, so maybe you couldn't click on that. So the lights came on. Because why would you be skimming them in the dark?
A History of the Republic. Genealogy of the Great Families. How to Train Killer Bats. Genghis Khan and the 21 Balloons. All dreadfully dull classics.
It's
I'm
like, I'm sure it's
sure.
How to Train Killer Bats. Genghis Khan and the 21 Balloons. Like, huh. Oh, okay.
I simply adore old chandeliers. Especially the ones that come crashing down unexpectedly on the heads of people I don't like. Modern light fixtures just don't have that same potential.
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. That's pretty fucking neat. Look at that. Okay, so we got everything over here, right? I was like, what am I supposed to click on? Oh, I love that. A mirror. There's nothing else over here. It's nice.
I'd hoped that by taking a closer look at the ruined portrait, I might be able to discern who had been pictured. I could imagine no shortage of delicious reasons why a lord's portrait might be disfigured in a house such as this. Shredded by a bitter servant when the master was thought absent. Savaged by an angry child who never quite lived up to expectations. Alas, the portrait seemed more a victim of old age than of some crime of passion. And of the face, I could make out nothing at all.
Interesting.
At last I found you, Misfortune. You need to come right away. Please.
Whatever is the matter? You look like you've seen a ghost with that one eye of yours.
There's no time to waste, miss. You should see for yourself.
So we know where we were.
Gathering my skirts, I hurried after the hulking butler, valet, back to the hall where we had first arrived. From the urgency in his pace and in his voice, I knew that something had happened. But still...
Interesting.
It was our host, Prince Titanico. He was dead. That alone wouldn't scare me. I was no stranger to dead
I'm surprised it was
bodies.
him.
But from the way he was lying, it was clear that his death was no accident. He'd been murdered. And that meant that someone in the mansion was the murderer.
Looks like his leg is broken. I shouldn't be at that angle. Can't. So, let's see if we can pause when it comes back on, or if it automatically starts. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Game has been saved. Okay, cool. Oh.
I found the rest of the ladies. Now, Klops, what is this all about?
What does this do? Oh, whoops. Okay, well. I want to save game. It's already saved. Game has been saved. So I'm actually going to wrap this part up here since we are at the end of the first chapter, and we will continue in the next part. So this is interesting. It was a little slow starting, I think. A little awkward, but I feel like that was just, to try to get sort of into the characters and the areas that you can explore. So we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.